Hi, everybody. I am Cheri Hudson-Passy from the SLIG committee, and I have the wonderful job of being able to interview the course coordinators so that you can have a little information about each of the courses and kind of help you decide what you're going to sign up because you're going to sign up, right? You're going to take your course. So I have the great pleasure today of talking to Joyce, who is once again um, having her course assemblage, preparing, writing, and revising case studies. I had to make sure I said that
I know it's a mouthful, right?
correctly. People love this course. That's why it keeps coming back. We hear so many good things. And I also, before I start talking to you about it, I want to let people know that on our SLIG YouTube page is also, we've got some student reviews of this course, experiences of this course too, and that can help you. And those are really fun because then you get to hear what the students really saying about
I
the
didn't
course.
pay any of them to say that, I
I
swear.
didn't make any of them. So it has been a very popular course. So thank you for coming in and talking to me and helping other people kind of, decide if this is the one for them this time. So give me a brief
Yeah,
overview of the course. What exactly does all that mean? Assemblage, preparing, writing, and revising
I
case.
know, right? Well, I love that the way that you actually phrase that because it is ironically like big picture and little picture, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. So the idea is that everything that we have put together helps people to prepare and then write and edit their own case study, which you could also say is proof arguments, right? A case
Yeah,
study is a little bit longer, a
sure.
little bit more broad. And
Yeah.
so it's big picture from the standpoint of helping to identify the structure, which are based on building blocks and
Hmm.
big kind of
Hmm.
chunks of what proves your case, down to some really little things like, are your headings effective? How are you segueing between topics?
Yes.
What kind of visual elements are you using? So I think one of the things that I hear students say a lot is that breaking that up into chunks like that and a
Mhm.
lot of these little things, in addition to the big structuring things,
Yeah.
is so helpful. Like we spend one class session on how to write a great introduction and another
Oh,
one on writing a
cool.
great conclusion, so we really focus on a lot of the little things which make it an effective, bigger picture and for their case study. So it's great fun. I love the material, and I have some fantastic instructors I'd like to tell you about too. So
Sure. Yeah.
Kim Richardson teaches on offline methods, and this has been probably the most popular session in the entire course, where she has students work. You're not on your computer, you are using sticky notes, index cards,
Oh.
paper, and then moving things around. And she's got a good structure for it too. And students love this. We've had them rave about it and say that it has really changed how they're able to resolve a case study and write it. And then I have Cindy Hydorn, who teaches about verbal strategies. This is really fun. And there's some individual strategies you can use, and there's some that are you can use with small peer groups where you get feedback from somebody on your writing, this where they're like giving you feedback like that part's great, this part doesn't make sense, and then you
Yeah.
really get to clarify and improve it. And
Nice.
Deb Kohler teaches on transcribing for voice and discovery. This is one of my favorites. And it's like when we describe it to people, Deb and I are both like, oh no, when we describe it, people say it sounds so horrible, but it's like it's so effective. And it's, trying to understand somebody else's voice through transcription and as well as improving your own work through transcribing it. So it's just fantastic. I use it all the time. And Shannon Green teaches on the genealogy standards that affect our writing.
Okay.
So those instructors are fantastic. I can't even tell you how good they are, how passionate about their own topics they are. And you don't see them teaching these topics in other courses, right? Like this is unique. And
Yes.
I think one of the things that is I think students need to know a couple things about this course is um, it is unique. We're teaching unusual techniques
Uh-huh.
and asking you to try things. So people coming in with an open mind is really helpful. Like because you're going to be like, "Ugh, I don't want to do that," and then you try it, and maybe you hate it and it's effective, or maybe you hate it and it doesn't work for you, but maybe
Yeah.
you love it and it's
Right.
effective, which is often the outcome. So that's been really wonderful to hear from students that it's really changed, how they write. Another thing is to know that it's a lot of work to be done
Uh-huh.
well, meaning I send out pre-course homework, if I can call it that. That's it's a common case study. So I give students a series of records and
Okay.
have them resolve the case and write it up. So the whole course is based on like three cases. One is we do read an NGSQ article with permission from the author, and we talk about that throughout the whole course.
Mm-hmm.
So we tear it apart. We use it as examples of the things
Yeah.
we were talking about, the building blocks, the headings, the segues, the visual elements. And so they've got a published article that we can use as an example. And then we use this common case throughout the course as well. And that every week students work on to apply the new technique to. So they
Oh,
start with
gotcha.
their
Yeah.
their draft, and then one week they'll work on, their visual elements. Another week they'll work on their conclusion. Another week they'll work on the introduction, and then it improves over that time. And then the third case is optional. You can work on your own case study, either.
And I ask about that. Yes.
Yes, this part is super fun because, of course, that's what you care about. You care about your case study, not mine. You know what I mean? So you can work on it publicly, meaning and talking about it and
Mm-hmm.
improving it along the way. But we also have a lot of students come into the course who are preparing for BCG certification. And
Mm-hmm.
they work on their portfolio element called a case study behind the scenes. So they
Gotcha.
learn the techniques in class,
Yes.
but then they can't discuss them or
Right,
share
right, right, right.
writing because that's one of the requirements. But so people have used it for that reason and said that it
Okay.
has really helped them progress or revise their case
Mm-hmm.
study quite a bit.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful. So when you're talking about your students, who really are you aiming for this class? I mean, you don't have to be on the clock. You don't have to be writing for the NGSQ. It's just any writing in general you want to improve, right?
I think that, we absolutely focus on case studies,
Mm-hmm.
right? But people definitely say that it helps them in other kinds of genealogy writing. I mean, there's three main kinds of genealogy products or work products, I would call it.
Yeah,
One is a case study, one is a research report or a client report,
right.
another is a family narrative. So this,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, focuses heavily on the case study, can absolutely help with a family narrative or a genealogy, and somewhat on a client report, not nearly as much because it's just that's such a different kind of product. So
Right, right.
students becoming with kind of that priority, I think would be
Mm-hmm.
helpful. Like, and
Okay.
if they really want to learn how to write great client reports like this, this is not the focus at all, but there are other good courses that do
Yeah,
that.
that's true. That's very true. That is very
Right.
true.
And I
Um,
would say it's an intermediate to advanced student
okay.
who has written, who wants to bring material to the course and go, oh yeah, I'm already doing that, but I can change this.
Exactly. Exactly. And not be afraid to let other people read their work. Because that's some of the
Yeah,
hardest. It's
right.
hard. It's
It's an
hard.
option. Like we
Yeah.
have that as an option between the
Yeah.
classes. So you can join a peer review group every
Oh,
week and
nice.
exchange
Yes.
feedback, but it's not required.
I
So
gotcha.
that's
Okay.
also something that we really like as available to
Hmm.
to improve your writing throughout the course. But you don't have
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
this.
Well, but that does help to see how other people are seeing your writing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Exactly. This is a wonderful course. We have heard so many good
Will.
things about it, student reviews, everything else. And so I would encourage people to take a look. And if you are at that point in your genealogy journey, your professional journey, and you want to write these types of, like it doesn't even have to be professional. People write, case studies and things like that, just, doing their own family work and all sorts of different um, projects that they're working on. So you don't have to be a professional genealogist to take the course. So I wanted to make sure I clarified that. But it is a wonderful course. I've heard so many good things about it. Is there anything else that you can think of that you haven't mentioned that you would like to say to encourage people to join you?
I want to, encourage them to check it out, but I
Yeah.
also think it's, you've got to understand that, you want to learn this, you're willing to try these unique things
Yes.
and put in the work
Put in the
because
work.
it's a
Mhm.
lot of work. So make sure you have the time, and
Yeah.
then you will really like maximize your learning opportunities.
Exactly, exactly. And like I said, we've heard so many good things. So also, after checking out this video, check out the student experience videos too, so you
Those are
can
fun.
really get some nitty gritty. Those are fun to do
Totally.
from the students that have actually taken the course, so you can hear from their own words, their experience. So, thank you so much, Jan, for coming and talking to me about your course today. And good luck with it, and good luck with everybody that's taking it. I know you'll learn so much. And with that, we'll say goodbye for this time, and I'll see you the next time I get the pleasure of talking to another course coordinator. See you next time. Bye, everybody.